guys, it's Ty with Ty the Dog Guy on the Daily. I want to talk about realistic expectations for our dogs. So, this is a challenge that I deal with a lot with clients. And I deal with it on kind of two ends of what I might call a spectrum or something like that. On the one end, we've got, a dog owner who doesn't realize what they've done, and the great, success they've had and the accomplishments they've made and things like that. And I'm referring to someone like, I'll give you an example. We might be dealing with someone that has dog aggression. And so, maybe we've done a few sessions. They come back in for a new session and we say, all right, how are things going? And they're down in the dumps like, he did this the other day. Or, this is going on. And then as we dig, we might find out that before they couldn't even go on a walk because the dog, was lunging and trying to, get aggressive with every other dog that it saw. Dogs behind fences and everything. That the dog was a nightmare obedience-wise, stuff like that. They love the dog, of course, but, the dog had all sorts of problems. And now here we are, a month into the training, and the dog's way better. They can go on a walk, but then the complaint becomes, well, yeah, now we can go on a walk, now we can do this, now we can do this, now we can do this. Except when another dog comes and charges us, now we've got a problem. And so that's totally valid. And when I'm working with a client, we obviously have to fix that. But what I'm getting at is it's not uncommon to see somebody at a point with their dog to where they've made huge strides. They've bit off 80% of the problem. They've really, really made a huge difference in what the dog needs to do and where the dog is versus where the dog was and all sorts of good stuff like that. But they tend to just focus on this problem's really got me down. Now, from a mindset perspective, that's a problem because it's really hard to get the ideal dog you want if you're always nitpicking. Now, again, this isn't always nitpicking, these are genuine problems. But it's really hard to get the dog you want if, despite progress, you tend to dwell on problems. It just is, because you don't recognize successes, and that's, that kind of comes out in your dog training and things like that. And so anyways, this can be a big challenge. Now, there's nothing wrong with saying, well, we've made some awesome progress, but we really need to fix this, and that is an amazing mindset. That's the mindset that gets results, with the right techniques and the right consistency. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we get folks, and usually this would be like at our first or second session, to where the dog has enormous problems, big time aggression or fear, anxiety or destruction or something like that, and the owner is somewhat in denial in relation to these problems. The owner might say things like, but he's so good, he waits for his dinner. I can have him sit and he'll wait as long as it takes for me to give him his dinner. Or, he attacks everything he sees, but he knows how to give paw, and he knows how to sit pretty, and he knows how to, and so here on the other end of the spectrum, we've got the owner who only sees the good. Obviously recognizes that, the dog has some major issues, which is why they're seeking out training in the first place. But by the same token, they're going to have a very difficult time getting to any sort of well-trained dog because their standards are so low. They excuse all the, in fact, it's kind of a standing joke that I have with folks. And so, again, I'm not wanting to call anybody out because I understand where people are coming from, and that's why I like to kind of joke about this. But, when I have a conversation with someone like this, before they become a client, and they're telling me, oh, yeah, he's taxed this, and he bit the mailman, and he bit the neighborhood kid, and he did all this. Oh, but he knows how to shake and spin and speak on command. He's an amazing dog. We love him. And I'll kind of joke, amazing aside from all the murdering, right? And they're like, I get it. So anyways, having these unrealistic expectations or unrealistic perspectives of where our dogs are, meaning dog's got big problems, but we only see the tiny little good things, or the dog's making big results, but we only see the little problems that are remaining. Both of these mindsets aren't conducive to the end results that, that really what everyone at the end of the day is looking for. And so what I always try to encourage people to do is look at their dog and their dog training from an addition and a subtraction perspective. So let's remove all of our care and emotion towards the dog, just for this exercise, not in reality. Let's remove all the care and the emotion, and let's look at actual behaviors that influence my quality of life and my dog's quality of life. Let's forget about the relationship that I love the dog, that he loves me. Let's just look at that. What are these factors? And so what addition things, what do I need to add to my dog's behavior in order to have a quality of life that my dog wants and that I want? And what are the things I need to subtract? What are the things and so addition might be, well, in order to have the quality of life that I want, my dog wants, I need to add a really good recall, because we can't go, we can't go on a hike very well right now because, he won't come when called. Or things I need to subtract would be like, I need to subtract that aggression, or he keeps getting on the counter, so I need to subtract that. And so once you have kind of your columns of addition and subtraction, now you can look at it, ideally you can look at it through simply a behavior thing. And so if you started out with a dog that's got all this trouble, and now you're looking at your addition and subtraction, it's like, well, there's this one last issue here, and there's this one last issue there on the subtraction. Now you can put in perspective and say, wow, I've done a good job with my dog. I just, I need to do better, and I need to figure out a few things, but we've done a good job. Or if you're on the other end of the spectrum, where you're a little bit in denial, and you look and it says, well, the subtraction, I need to subtract all the murdering and the pillaging, and the addition, I need to add every bloody thing under the sun. All right, maybe I need to get, buckle down and do some training. That's not a knock against you, not a knock against your dog, but oftentimes having the correct, or not the correct, there's not a correct, but having a more correct perspective of who your dog is, what your relationship is, and what your dog needs is going to get you to your ideal much faster.